Hi, reading community. Welcome back to another episode of Everyone a Reader. I'm so happy that you have joined us for episode 3. Today we have a very special guest, our first librarian, Miss Phelia Weir. So first off, I just want to explain that all librarians have a special place in my heart because a librarian, when I think back to my own childhood and my own learning school experience, my middle school librarian is the person who I feel like cared the most about me. And maybe that isn't true because I know that all of my teachers cared for me, but I felt a special connection to my middle school librarian. Shout out Mrs. Hetzler! And so ever since that point, librarians, I love you. So, Miss Weir is no exception. She is an incredible librarian and an incredible person. I find myself just strolling into the library to be around books, but also to be around Miss Weir. In this interview, Miss Weir talks a little bit about how she likes to read books from different countries so that she can have different experiences and kind of travel around the world using books. But here's the thing about Miss Weir. She's already been around the world a few times. She was born in Jamaica. Then when she was in 4th grade, she moved to the United States, to Illinois. Then her first teaching job abroad was in Japan. From there, she went to Honduras. Then she went to the Marshall Islands, and now she's here with us in Saudi Arabia. So now it's time to sit back, relax, and find out what makes Miss Weir a reader. Hi, Miss Weir. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Mrs. Wingers. Thank you so much for inviting me to your YouTube channel. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. We're both in school right now in different rooms, so we're both wearing our masks. We're making sure to be safe. But now I'm in my classroom, so I'm going to take it off so I can have a little chat with you.
I'm in the library by myself, so I can completely take this off.
Yeah. Great. Okay, well, I have 5 questions for you about what makes you a reader and some of your habits and your goals and things like that. Are you ready to get started?
I am so ready.
Okay, great. All right. My first question is, what is one of your favorite children's books? So this might be a book that you remember from your childhood, or it might be something that you read as a teacher to your students, something published more recently.
Okay. Well, Mrs. Wingers, that is a difficult question. I'm a former classroom teacher, but now I'm a librarian, and librarians see so many books. So I have a list. I'll check my notes for that. I have a list of books that are most memorable to me. And then from that list, I'll share one that could possibly be my favorite. Okay?
Okay.
So one of the books on my most memorable book list is 100 by Hala bint Khalid. Another is Saving Daddy by Patricia Abdullah. Friendle by Andrew Clements. There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom by Louis SACHAR. And My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. Now, of those, I would have to choose There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom, because when I read that book as a 4th grade teacher, it was just something about it that was so memorable. And it's unlike any other book I have read. And even till this day, I still have this memory of the story and the book. So I would consider that my favorite.
Awesome. Those first 2 titles you said, do we have those in our school library?
Yes, we do. We have 100, and we also have Saving Daddy. Those books are in our library. Yay!
I have never heard of them before, but on your recommendation, I'm going to pop over there when I put my mask back on, and I'm going to check them out.
Yeah, please. Actually, I'll be a great librarian and have them ready for you with your name. So when you come, they'll be ready.
You're so good to me, Miss Weir.
Thanks.
Okay, my next question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What is your favorite genre to read, and why do you like that genre?
I know most people might think, why did you choose this genre? You're an adult, but I love YA, and YA are young adult novels.
Yep.
During my librarian studies, my internship took place at a high school, and one of the tasks that was given to me was to do book talks on various YA novels. That's when I developed this deep appreciation for this genre. So I absolutely, to this day, still love young adult novels. Okay. Mrs. Wingers, I thought you were also a reader who enjoys YA novels. Is that true?
I adore YA. You know that because I got a bunch of YA novels before summer.
Yeah, and I remember you talking about it, and I was thinking that, she's like me. I also enjoy those.
Yeah, and out of those 4 books I got, I read 3 of them, and one I just couldn't get into. But one of them was like one of the best books I've ever read, which makes me think of a follow-up question, which is YA is such a kind of broad term. Because of those 4 books I got, there was like a few realistic fiction, but there was one crazy sci-fi dystopian kind of story, which is so out of anything I ever read, but I loved it so much. So my follow-up question is, do you love all YA, or is there like a specific type of YA that you enjoy more than others?
Thank you for asking that. The specific is realistic fiction. Now, I'm a little bit jealous that you venture out and read others, but I tend to stick to realistic fiction. But maybe I can try the book that you really like, the dystopia world, and that could be a new subgenre in YA that I can enjoy. So I'll try that. Thank you.
A friend told me about it probably a year ago. And then when I saw it in the library, I was like, okay, it's here. I'll give it a try. And I got like 20 pages in, and I sat there and I read the rest of it. It was like, It was so good. Okay. And enough about me. Let's keep talking. Yeah. Okay. In your opinion, what makes a good reader?
Okay. Wow, there's so many different answers for that. And neither is wrong. But for me, in my opinion, what makes a good reader is anyone who's choosing a book that is of interest to them and reading it with enjoyment and pleasure. To me, that makes a good reader. Mm-hmm. As a librarian and former teacher, I know they have said a good reader is also someone who read with fluency, understanding, and accuracy. But to me, it's best when those skills are combined with just the love of reading, no matter what your age is. The love of reading is what makes a good reader.
I love that answer as much as I love reading. Okay. Question number 4 is, what is a strong reading habit that you have? Or if you're not feeling great about your habits right now, what's something that you, like a goal you have of a habit you want to work on?
Okay. Now, I'm not just saying this because it's a video and I'm trying to show off, but I feel a strong reading habit that I have is using a dictionary to look up unfamiliar words. Now, I grew up with books. I have a book and I'm reading the book. But what happened when I see a word I do not know in the book, I go, okay, I'll come back to that. But sometimes I don't. But now when I read on my Kindle or read ebooks, I can simply press a button, I can highlight it and find out the definition. So I really enjoy being able to quickly find a definition of the word. But I also feel that something I want to work on is reading more books from different countries around the world. Because I want to understand and connect with the ideas of different countries and the culture. So that's something I'm working on it, but I want to make it better because I work in an international school. These students are from so many different countries. So what books are they reading in their countries? And maybe reading them, I can connect with them a little bit better.
That is amazing. That reminds me, I'm reading a book right now that it's all about it's called Reader Come Home. And it's talking about the things that reading gives us. And one of the things is that it builds empathy for people that are so different than us, because you actually get to live inside of someone's head for a long time when you're reading a book. And that's amazing.
That is so true.
That's amazing that you have this goal to read from different countries and gain all these different perspectives. Like, that's like traveling around the world, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And during COVID, we cannot, so I can travel through my book.
Yeah, I love that answer. That's great. Okay, last question. Okay. Now, imagine you've just finished a really amazing book, like the best book you've ever read in your whole entire life. Okay, you're on the last page, you read the last word. What is the next thing you do immediately?
Well, besides close the book, I know that's not the answer. Actually, I want to tell a friend about this book. If it's something that I've just read, it's an amazing book, I want others to enjoy the book, and maybe they will think it's amazing too. So the first thing I would do is, message someone and say, hey, I just finished reading this book. I think it's great. And maybe then that person will read it. Because there's two books that were not on my list of books to read, but someone recommended it, one of the library assistants. It was 100 Years of Solitude. It was not on my list, but it's great. It's a great book. She thought it was amazing. So I thought, okay. So I read it. So when I'm finished with an amazing book, I want to share with others.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, Mrs. Wingers, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What do you do when you are, I just want to know quickly, what do you do when you finish an amazing book?
I don't know. I tell people about it. I just read a book that kind of changed my life this summer, and I immediately informed my friends. Well, I've had two really good books. Okay, so I messaged some friends that I knew would connect with the book, and I was like, we have to read this book. And we actually started a book club. So then I reread the book, and the three of us, we all read it together. So but that's the first time I've ever done anything like that.
Okay.
But I think that's something I'll continue if that happens again. But then also I read a book, and I was like reading it at home on a Kindle, and I finished the last word, and Mr. Wingers was sitting in the living room. And I remember I just closed it, and I took the deepest breath, and I was like, that is the best book I've ever read. And then I just sat and I just
even better.
Just had to be quiet. Anyway, okay. Yeah. It's a hard question. Yeah.
Yes. It is hard.
Okay. Did you say you have a question for me?
No, I thought you had a follow-up question when I talked about the amazing book and what I did when I finished reading it.
Oh, yes, I do. So I saw when you were saying your answer, you said you'd message your friends, and you did this. Is there a platform or a way? Do you already have a way that you communicate with friends about books? Or is this something like you would text someone? Or do you have any group chats? Or
No, I do not have any group chats. I will most likely do WhatsApp. But if I'm here at work, when we were able to all come together, when I see that person, I will just mention it to the person.
Cool.
But because I know that's not possible, I did do this because I would just message the person out as I'm reading different books at the moment.
Yep. Cool. Thanks. Well, that's all the questions I have. My final thing that I want to ask is if anyone wants to reach out to you or connect to you, if they have any follow-up questions, or maybe someone might have a book from a country that they want to suggest to you, how would you like people to connect with you?
Currently, I'm not very active on social media. So if you are watching this video and you're thinking, okay, I do have a question for her, if you leave a comment for Mrs. Winger, she will then pass that message along to me, and I will contact you and answer your question.
I sure will. Okay.
Thank
you so much, Miss Weir. This was great, and I'll see you soon. I'm going to pop over now, put my mask back on, and come get those books.
I will see you when you arrive.
Okay. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.